Wow, wow, wow. Micron stock just had one of the greatest earnings that we've seen recently. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We're going to get into Micron stock and Micron stock earnings and why a specific amount of 10 Micron stock could be game changing for you in the future. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Let's get into it. Please read the disclaimer. So right now, if we look at Micron stock and what was happening with Micron, it finished at 1043, but of course, after hours, when Micron earnings came out, you can see the stock popped up all the way to 1200 here for Micron. This was a big day, and right now I'm just looking on my phone because we can see the overnight trading that was happening. Micron is up around 18% at 1238. So it's even up a little bit more in the after hours overnight trading. Pre-market opens up in about 50 minutes. I'm recording this a little bit early. And so very interesting to see what happens right now. Of course, this would have opened up, if it opens up here, would be a new all-time high for Micron stock. Just amazing how it went all the way to the support level and now is bouncing back. So the big earnings that came out, you can see here, Micron just delivered one of the biggest earning beats in semiconductor history. The revenue was 41.46 billion versus 36 billion that expected, so almost a $5 billion higher than expected revenue. And so, of course, you could say, well, that should add 5 billion to the market cap. But when you look at Micron right now, and it's a $1 trillion dollar market cap, a 10% would be 100 billion. So, I mean, it's up 20%. So does that, add, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still, it's up significantly. Adjusted EPS 25.11 versus 21.05 expected. I know people in the comment section, that's not how it works, right? I know that the extra revenue is not affecting specifically the stock. It's more about the potential of earnings over time. I know that just like if you think about it, when you have $1 trillion stock and it goes up 10%, that's 100 billion added to the value of the company. That's kind of wild. Nvidia is almost 5 trillion. So if it goes up 10%, it's added 500 billion to its market cap. Think how much 500 billion is. It's wow, right? Gross margin 84.6% up from 37.6% a year ago. And of course, Micron shares surged about 15% in after hours trading following its massive earning reports. Micron reported record revenue, profits, and guidance driven by surging demand for high bandwidth memory chips used in AI infrastructure data centers. So if you watched our video a few days ago talking about what the potential scenarios could be, we got the bullish scenario, right? We got a situation where, and even I remember the AI kind of predicted that I can bring that back up. One second. I couldn't find the exact one that we used in the previous video, but I actually had done it on ChatGPT. The Gemini one, for some reason, didn't save it. But you can see here, Micron earnings. The bullish case beats earnings by wide margin, raises guidance, says HBM II memory demand remains stronger than expected, suggests 2027 capacity is already filling up. Potential move 15% to 30%. So that's what we got, right? So right now we're seeing it up around almost 20%. That's what we got. Micron Q4 guidance just crushed expectations. Q4 revenue to 50 billion versus 43 billion expected. So the fourth quarter revenue, not only did they beat by about 6 billion this quarter, they're actually expecting to raise now their projections is not 43 billion, but 50 billion. So another 7 billion added. So when you're talking about the addition there and the addition hit there. And so again, the potential of the addition down the line, that's why the stock is moving like this. EPS to $31 versus 25 expected, and gross margin to 85% versus 84 expected. So that's basically on the dot. Micron also announced 22 billion in multi-year customer supply agreements, including take-or-pay contracts, cash deposit, and pricing floors. The company said HBM3E and HBM4 are fully booked through calendar of 2027, with demand extending into 2028. So this also huge, huge, huge. Micron just generated more profit this quarter than Nvidia made almost exactly 1 year ago. Micron is expected to generate significantly more revenue and profit than Nvidia did at 4 trillion valuation while trading at just 1.1 trillion market cap. This is wild. Now, again, when Nvidia was running up, a lot of it was, potential, a lot of it was short squeeze, right? But similar to what's potentially going to happen now. Now, I don't think Micron will pass Nvidia because Nvidia is the meat and potatoes, the meat, and Micron is the potatoes. Now you enjoy the potatoes too, but you're gonna have the steak, right? You need the steak. So we need the chips. Now, of course, could be competitor that comes out. Same thing for Micron. Right now they're the top dog, but there could be a competitor that comes around the mountain, right? And um, you know s- has better technology, cheaper prices. We know how these things work. But the data centers are going to continue to continue to expand, continue to thrive. I just saw this post right here. It says MU is the biggest bottleneck for AI infrastructure. Its revenue increased 346 in 1 year, and these are others, right? So we got, of course, Micron. SanDisk is the NAND flash bottleneck. Of course, SanDisk also is probably going to pop today. Where is it overnight trading? About 12%. And then we have after that Western Digital, right? HDD makers, AI storage demand outstripping supply, pricing power surging. Of course, NVIDIA, TSM, ASML, Avgo, Intel, GFS. And then we have the networking, the optical that we've talked about before as well. ANET, Quarent, CIN, optical pipes, optical transceivers, AI cluster networking. So everything that happens inside the data center, a lab and Cardo, connectivity chips, Poet, Pure Play Photonics, optical engines for AI data centers. And then we have the power, right? We've talked about that as well. VRT, liquid cooling, E10, electrical power delivery system, SEG, largest US nuclear operator, BE on-site fuel cell powers, GEV gas turbines, and the server integration, Dell, rack scale AI server integrators, turning GPUs into deployable systems. All of these things eventually could go up significantly in profit, significantly in usability. But the question again is going to be, when is it too much, right? When do we hit a over? Now that might be never because the technology will continue to advance, and with AI advancing, we might see the next 5 years have technological advancements that we had not dreamed about previously because of the bottleneck in the ecosystem. I was just talking to my brother-in-law a while back, and he's a doctor, and we were talking about the potential advancement in medicine, how AI and AI agents can run specific scenarios and run specific sequencings and run potential data that would take months or years to do by humans in a few hours. And so all the advancements and all the testing could see a significant jump. Now, of course, there's still the FDA and things move. He was like, that's the bottleneck, right? The bureaucracy. Um, but he was even talking to me about gene sequencing. That 5 years ago, you'd have to do a whole map of the gene sequencing to try to figure out some problem or some sickness. And now there's specific sequencing that you can do that's very specific, and it can, you don't have to do the whole map. And this is just in 4 or 5 years. So where are we going to be 4 or 5 years from now? And this could be in all kinds of different technologies. So we don't know. Micron could continue to grow. The whole AI infrastructure sector could continue to grow, but we could also hit too much. There could be too much and not enough, clients or usage. but maybe it's a lot more. Again, we don't know what the next 5 to 10 years are going to bring. That's a speculation that we put in when we're investing in stocks, when we're investing in companies, that is going to happen in the future. This is how we're going to see the markets develop. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Micron can, deploy from here. Now, if you look right now at Micron's price action, it's at 1,000, 1,200 right now. So if you have 100 Micron shares, that's 120,000. That's a little bit steep for many investors right now. But for example, 10 Micron stocks is $1,200. Now, to some people, that might be a little bit of their portfolio. To some people, that might be a lot of their portfolio. The question is, how long does this bottleneck continue? And how long does the expansion of the infrastructure continue? If you think that Micron, and we just talked about it here, that they're generating revenue that is similar or even higher than what Nvidia was generating when they had a 4 trillion valuation. So you might say to yourself, okay, right now Micron stock is undervalued and it should be 2,000, 4,000, 3,000. So this is important that 10 Micron stocks right now could bring you a significant amount of profit. It could bring you also losses, but it could also bring you profit. Again, I'm not a prophet, a different prophet, the prophet from the, right? There it has two meanings. I just saw something that there's the word set has like 400 meanings or something like that. I don't know the number, but think about that. So it will be very interesting to see. And again, 10 Micron right now is, some people might say it's a little bit, some might say it's a lot. I think it's right there. It's juicy for also small investors, also medium investors. For big investors, that's a small position, $10,000. But for medium, small investors, I think 10 is a nice amount of Micron. Of course, everybody would want to get that 10 back at 100 or back at 50. And listen, I was investing in Micron when we were back in 617 area, 2017, when Micron was about 20, right? And it made that massive run back then, and people made huge profits on it. In about 1 or 2 year period of time, it went up 500%. What we're looking at right now is a totally different story. From the low to where we are, we're up 1,500%. So it's kind of crazy to think about where we came from 2017 to where we are right now. It's been a wild ride with Micron, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see where Micron can go from here and how it could potentially develop. Okay. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.